This is very unusual for me to Skype in to someplace so far away, and I wish I were there with you. Can you all hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I thought I would just read a little bit to you. I thought I would read maybe the final pages of this book, Bluets, which this is the British edition, and yeah, and then maybe we can talk if you have any questions or thoughts. And so, that seem okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's see. So, this is the very end of this book, and there's nothing you need to know except that the narrator is brokenhearted, and also that she has a friend who has had, excuse me, a bad accident which has left her in a wheelchair. So that's, now I'll just read, and it's in numbered parts. So we'll start on number 222, and the book ends at 240, so you don't need to worry that it will go on forever. So you can count with me. So 222. In January 2002, while camping in the dry Tortugas, on an island which is essentially an abandoned fort 90 miles north of Cuba, flipping through a copy of Nature magazine, I read that the color of the universe, whatever that might mean, here I gather that it means the result of a survey of the spectrum of light emitted by 200,000 galaxies, has finally been deduced. The color of the universe, the article says, is pale turquoise. Of course, I think, looking out wistfully over the glittering gulf, I knew it all along. The heart of the world is blue. 223. A few months later, back at home, I read somewhere else that this result was an error due to a computer glitch. The real color of the universe, this new article says, light beige. 224. I recently found out that les bluets can translate as cornflowers. You would have think I would have known this all along, as I have been calling this book Bluets, mispronounced, for years. But somehow I had only ever heard it meant a small blue flower with a yellow center that grows abundantly in the countryside of France. So I thought I'd never seen it. 225. Shortly after finding out about the Bluets, I have a dream in which I am sent an abundance of cornflowers. In this dream, it is perfectly all right that that is their name. They do not need to be Bluets any longer. They are American, they are shaggy, they are wild, they are strong. They don't signify romance. They were sent by no one in celebration of nothing. I had known them all along. 226. As I collected blues for this project in folders and boxes and notebooks in memory, I imagined creating a blue tome, an encyclopedic compendium of blue observations, thoughts, and facts. But as I lay out my collection of blue now, what strikes me most is its anemia, an anemia that seems to stand in direct proportion to my zeal. I thought I had collected enough blue to build a mountain, albeit one of detritus. But it seems to me now as if I have stumbled upon a pile of thin blue gels scattered on the stage, long after the show has come and gone, the set striped. 227. Perhaps this is as it should be. Wittgenstein's Tractatus Logico-Philosophicus, the first and only book of philosophy Wittgenstein published in his lifetime, clocks in at exactly 60 pages, and it offers a grand total of 7 propositions. As to the shortness of the book, I am awfully sorry for it, but what can I do? Wittgenstein wrote to his translator. If you were to squeeze me like a lemon, he said, you would get nothing more out of me. 228. My injured friend is now able to write letters via voice recognition software to keep her friends abreast of changes in her condition, of which there have been many. My life does change. It can change, she asserts. And it has, and it does, often in astonishing ways. Nonetheless, near the end of these letters, she always includes a short paragraph that acknowledges her ongoing physical pain and her intense grief for all she has lost, a grief she describes as bottomless. If I did not write of the difficulties under which I labor, she writes, I would fear to be misrepresenting the grinding reality of quadriplegia and spinal cord injury. So here it is, she closes, the paragraph that roundly asserts that I continue to suffer. 229. I am writing all of this down in blue ink, so as to remember that all words, and not just some, are written in water. 230. Holed up in the North Country for the month of May, a May which saw but 4 days of sunshine. The rest of the month was solid gray, drizzling, pouring rain, rendering everything green, rushing and verdant. In short, a nightmare. Each day I took long walks in my yellow poncho looking for blue, for any blue thing. I found always blue tarps, pinned over stacks of firewood, a few blue recycling containers kicked over in the streets, a grayish blue mailbox here and there. I came back to my dark chamber each night empty-handed, as if I had been panning fruitlessly for gold all day in a cold river. Stop working against the world, I counseled myself. Love the one you are with. Love the color green. But I did not love the green, nor did I want to have to love it or pretend to love it. The most I can say of the green is that I abided it. 231. That month I touched myself every night in my narrow bed, and I came thinking of you, knowing all the while I was planting the seeds of a fresh disaster. The disaster did not come then, but it did come later. Though 6 days may smoothly run, the 7th will bring blue devils or a dun, wrote Byron. The most I can say is that this time I learned my lesson. I stopped hoping. 232. Perhaps in time I will also stop missing you. 233. That the future is unknowable is, for some, God's means of suturing us into the present. For others, it is the mark of the malevolence, a sure sign that our entire existence here is best understood as a sort of joke or a mistake. 234. For me, it is neither. It is simply the way that it is. Whether this accident be a happy or unhappy one is probably more a matter of mood than anything else. The difficulty is, as Emerson said, our moods do not believe in each other. One can wander around the landscape looking for clues and amassing evidence, but even the highest pile never seems to decide the case. 235. One thing they don't tell you about the blues when you've got 'em. You keep on falling because there ain't no bottom, sings Emmylou Harris, and she may be right. Perhaps it would help to be told there is no bottom, save, as they say, wherever and whenever you stop digging. You have to stand there, spade in hand, cold whiskey sweat beaded on your brow, your eyes misshapen and wild, some sorry-ass gravedigger grown bone-tired of the trade. You have to stand there in the dirty rut you dug, alone in the darkness, in all its pulsing quiet, surrounded by the scandal of corpses. 236. Do not be overly troubled by this fact. 9 days out of 10, Merleau-Ponty wrote about Cézanne, all he saw around him was the wretchedness of his empirical life and of his unsuccessful attempts, the debris of an unknown celebration. 237. In any case, I am no longer counting the days. 238. I want you to know, if you ever read this, that there was a time when I would rather have had you by my side than any one of these words. I would rather have had you by my side than all the blue in the world. 239. But now you are talking as if love were a consolation. Simone Weil warned otherwise. Love is not consolation, Weil wrote. It is light. 240. All right then, let me try to rephrase. When I was alive, I aimed to be a student, not of longing, but of light. And then with that, the book is over, and my reading to you is over, and I'd be happy to talk to you about anything that you have on your mind. So thank you for listening.